Hello everyone and welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest set that is going to be coming out very soon in English Weiss. This is first time for me looking at it for the most part. I know some cards were kind of talked about in the Discord a while back, but I honestly don't remember anything about it. Speaking of sets that I remember nothing about, the original English Fairy Tale set, I just did a quick Google search, came out December of 2014, the version E, quote unquote, which for those who don't know, in English Weiss, if you got a version E, it did differ from the Japanese set in some shape, form, or fashion. Nisekoi was notorious for this because they changed over like every level 3 that came over. The thing is, I don't remember what shit got changed. This is almost 12 years since this set dropped. I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with the original set. I just don't know. I don't remember anything from it. So if there is any synergy, if there is any overlap in effects, maybe there's this card also combos with the same climax combo or something, this event works with the same cards, I have no fucking clue. I just don't remember. I am going to be looking at this through the lens of just this set, a standalone set. Maybe there's something busted in the first set that makes this like the greatest set of all time. I have no clue. I don't know. I'm not asking for explanations either. I will see that when it happens. I'm just going to be judging this set as a whole. So, this comes out on March 13th, 2026. I'm recording this like 2 months in advance. So we do get quite a few things here. Honestly, once again, from how old of a set it was, I'm kind of surprised that we did get SPs for this. I'm just saying that because I'm fucking surprised anytime we get actual SPs. But we do get... Oh, Aya Hirano is part of this. I forgot Aya Hirano was Lucy. Really, really cool looking SPs from this Burning Flame Natsu. I think that's honestly sick looking. All the SP art looks honestly really, really good. I watched a little bit of 100 Years Quest, probably like, first 10 episodes or so, and I just kind of lost interest in it. But boy, when they got into some really cool fight scenes, it was kind of neat. I will completely agree with that. They do say, what do we got? We're getting 14 SPs, 10 SSPs, 3 Secret Rare Pluses. I don't know, it'd be kind of crazy to look, because usually Secret Rare Pluses do have some very nice art as well. This is for sale worldwide. So, from what this says, this shouldn't be banned in any, countries or whatever. And obviously, I know my head is kind of covering it, but it says, this card in this booster pack may be used with cards that have the card numbers beginning with FT, Fairy Tale. So, it can be used with the first set, to my knowledge. Typical going second cards. Nothing too terribly crazy, but yeah. All right, let's jump right into it. Thank you as always to Weiss Tea Time for your awesome translations and letting me be able to make content like this. I do greatly appreciate it, and no joke here. Now, I kind of want to just go ahead and talk about this off rip. Like, that just looks sick. The first fucking Secret Rare Plus is sick. So, I also that's Hiro Mashima. That's his signature for the Secret Rare Plus. I just realized that. I just saw Mashima, so I'm like, I know that's the creator. Kind of neat there. Like, okay, already, 2 claps. We're off to a great start. But I do want to mainly highlight the SPs and whatnot at the end of the video after we've looked through all the cards. For anyone who's never tuned into one of my first impressions videos, I try to at least highlight the double rares in every single color. It's 100 cards. I'm assuming we have all 4 colors in this. I could be wrong. And obviously, if there should be a trial deck, I think. I don't know. I had to double check. I don't know if there's a trial deck. If there is, I at least try to cover the climax combos in those. I don't remember. There was obviously a trial deck for Fairy Tale, like way back in the day. But after the double rares, I will kind of glance through, and if there's anything that catches my eye, I will happily talk about it. So, let us start with Best Girl Urza. We have 0015. This particular, I need to zoom in a little bit more. Like I said, I will show off all the art at the very end. It's just easier if I go ahead and zoom in like this. 00 Urza, if you have 5 or more hand, it gets plus a level 15 power, so it's a 3k level 1. When this is reversed, you have 2 or less memory. You may send this to memory. So already off the bat, we have memory effects. So should be interesting. 3-2. Also, my head is slightly covering the tail end of those sentences. So I will just zoom out a little bit. So sorry. Just easier to do it this way. It's OCD. I don't think I'm OCD, but I have to question some days. 3295. During this card's battle, you cannot. Your opponent. I will say you cannot. Your opponent cannot play events from hand. They can still do normal backups, but rest events or any events they just can't use. So he'll want to play. When this attacks, if you have the particular choice trigger in your climax area, discard 2 cards. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent twice. Pretty interesting for a finisher. It doesn't really have pushing power, but I do like this as a I'm trying to close out the game card. Like, I do like that. That's really cool. All right, so and that's it. That's the 2 double rares in yellow. So I'm assuming the other colors are going to be like jam-packed with stuff. We need more Urza like this. That's adorable. So, oh my goodness, the little dress like that. That's adorable. All right, Jalal, what do you do? So the rares onward. I'm just gonna kind of glance through stuff. Jalal is runs away. If there's a character in front, you may move this to a different row. So he runs away from characters. The Urza is a placed on stage from hand. Pay 1, deal yourself a damage from the top of the deck. Search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. So I'm glad to see the Ricky is in the rare section. You always love to see that because the Rickies are typically like very, very high price tag if they're double rares. So yeah. Laxus, looking sick there though. Hell, even Laxus has an SP. I can see that in the corner right there. Like even he has a freaking SP. That looks sick. Oh, hold on. What card is this? That's so cool. Okay, you know what? Oh my god, like I said, I'm not the I used to actually enjoy the Fairy Tail series, and then it kind of like went off the rails for me. But the art for those cards looks gorgeous. I'm gonna have to talk about that stuff when it comes up. Lexus. Oh, that's another good point. So the traits are all Magic Weapon, which I'm fairly certain that was all in the same set. Magic Dragon. So Magic and Weapon are probably going to be like, or at least Magic should just be the entire fucking set, which is why it overlaps so well. Oh, sorry, I didn't read this. On death, look at top check 3 at a climax, discard a card. Start your climax phase, you can choose a particular Urza. Okay, so Urza in the first set also did some change swapping shenanigans with her level 1s. I remember something to that effect. If you're level 3 or higher... Oh, this also has an act to turn into a particular... The 3-2 Urza we talked about before. This does have a soul trigger. That does matter in this day and age because of choice. So... really cool there. We have an Urza Fumio. I just immediately read this. Okay. On play, for those who do not know what a Fumio is, when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 and pitch 1. If you do, your opponent chooses a climax in their waiting room. Shuffle all of the cards from their waiting room into their deck. This is a very common decompression effect like I said, for those who are unfamiliar with the terminology. If you hear someone say Fumio, it's usually a very good decompression tool. There's sometimes which Bushi's kind of caught on to this, and they're like, oh, we can't do it effects where there are some effects that say your opponent chooses 2 climaxes in their waiting room and shuffles back everything else. That is really strong. But this is just a 1 climax. Just saying for those who may be getting into the game and don't exactly understand how that works. 3-2 Laxus. He can early play if you have a particular big slow and evergreen. Bounces back characters and this gets a buff. And then he builds some stock if you kill a level 2 or higher battle opponent. Interesting. Okay. I see you. More Jalal. Weird fucking character. Okay, already I see something very interesting. Oh, I see something even more interesting. This Jalal, it says this card can be played without meeting color requirements, which every now and then there are certain cards that just have very interesting lore effects. And to me, this fits Jalal perfectly. He's just one of those, he can play for like any side type thing, because of, lore reasons and stuff. Read the manga if you haven't. Don't watch the anime, it's too much fucking filler. Read the manga. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. So the first one is look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose 2 magic characters amongst them, add them to hand, which is really nice. Or your opponent sends all of their stock to their deck, shuffles their deck, and then puts an equal number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. We like stock swap and stock shuffles. Swap would have been better, but stock shuffle that you can play in literally any deck without having to care on a rare. Okay, once again, pretty cool. I think that's an interesting thing that could be done more in other card sets. I'm just saying. I don't remember this fucker. Why is, like, Gandalf in here? Anyway, place on stage from hand if you do search your deck for a climax. Oh, so it is a climax swapper from deck. Okay, cool. Urza, we have a climax combo on an uncommon. During your turn, if you have another magic character, it's 15, so it'll be 5k, so climax choice would be 6k. When the choice is placed, if this is in your front row and you have 4 or more other magic characters, so just if you have a full field, just straight up search your deck. And this has a choice trigger. That's actually really cool just to outright search on a level 1 like this. I've seen this effect on level 2s and whatnot before, so that's interesting. On attack, if you have the wind, we have wind triggers in the year of our Lord 2026. I mean, there was like a lot in the first set, but still. 2 or more other magic characters with the top card of your deck into stock. One card among them. Choosing a magic card event. Choose one of your opponent's characters and remove a trait. That's funky. Okay. Celine Dion? No, probably not. Okay, this is actually kind of nice. Gives 2 of your characters, which you could give it to itself, a anti-change effect, and it's a stock bomb anti-change, really powerful. White Wizard. Oh damn, big 2k buff during your turn. Start of your climax phase. You can sack this to summon a particular Toka. We're not looking at data live. Why is Toka in here? I know, jokes. Makarov. Oh man. He looks so much different compared to like first season of Fairy Tail 2. I mean, the man's gotten older, we know. Oh, this is funny. He's literally Escanor. When this is reversed, you can basically stock bomb their character if you have, depending on how many copies of him are in the waiting room. So that is kind of funny. Basically stating if you have 3 copies of him, he is a level 3 and lower stock bomb reverser, which is fucking insane. Oh, is this the big slow that Laxus can use to early play? Okay. Okay, I do feel the need to talk about this. This is kind of interesting. I like the fact that the Brainstormer is a pay 1, rest this, mill 5, which is always good. It's just the fact that the Brainstorm effect is, for each climax, choose a card in your clock, add it to hand, and put the top card of your deck into your clock. Sucks. It sucks balls. So we like that it's a 5, but no. Marker shenanigans to give this a marker and then pay a cost later to add that marker to hand. During your turn, all of your other characters with Urza get 1,000. Urza waifu deck is real. When you pay the cost of an act for your character, you can use a marker instead of 1 stock. Very nice. Place on stage from hand, rest 2 of your standing characters if you do. You can look at top card of your deck, put it face down underneath this card as a marker, so it can gain it. But the marker shenanigans like that, you get to see what it is, sure. I just don't care for the marker effects like this. So this, we've had a couple cool effects so far. We've had a good couple staple effects as well, like Fumios, climax swappers and stuff like that. But this is just we're regressing now. We're going back to monkey. We need to move forward. So, anyway, I was like, wait, did I read this right? Fried. What else supposed to be like freed? But I just read fried magic. I'm a fucking Shokugeki no Soma if he was a wizard. Fried magic. Or like fighting Foodons back in the day. Anyway. Gives characters effects that they can't move. Place on stage from hand, you can pay 1 this turn. Your opponent cannot use Encore. That is kind of funny. I do like that. Morjo Law reversed. Battle opponent's cost 0 lower. Cool. Stop bomb. On death, pay 2, grab back a choice trigger. Not horrible, but not the best in the world. Evergreen, this must be the Evergreen that was also part of the other Laxus thing. Oh, so it's like a brainstorm. No, it's not even a brainstorm. It's like dig up to the number of a particular Laxus in waiting room +1, and then add a level 1 or higher card amongst them. Okay. Not horrible, but also not ideal. Because those level 3 Laxuses, if you can early play them, you're going to want to hold them in your hand. So, I don't know. Weird. Use this card's backup if all of your characters are okay. So, it's a 2K backup, but in blind stocks. Don't like it. Sorry. 1-0 event. It's a salvage based off the sum of the levels of characters you mill, of cards that you mill, not characters, but cards that you mill. Don't care for it. Sorry. We do like this. We do like this, as you can see from the triple rare art as well. We do like that. Moving on. All right, we are into the greens. How many double? We only have 2 green double rares. This is just gonna be like 2 per color. It's gonna be kind of funny. All right, so Lucy was Magic and Key, not to be confused with Magic Keys from Yu-Gi-Oh! 001K, when this is placed on stage from hand, mill 2. This turn, this gets X power. X equals the number of magic characters or particular green 1/1 event, number 46, milled times 2,000. So if you get both of them, you get plus 4K. Okay, so it could be a level 0 that becomes a 5K. That is kind of funny. When this is reversed, if you have 2 or less memory, I have a lot less memory than that in my brain. You can pay 1, put the top card of your deck in a clock, send this to memory. If you do, look at the 2 cards on the top of your deck, choose up to 2 magic characters or the same green events from amongst them, add them to hand. Okay. So we do have some shenanigans with events, and as stated, I'm certain there's cards from the first set that matter, but I'm not judging based off of those cards. Next is a 103K Lucy during your turn. If you have a card in memory, doesn't matter what it is. It could be the Urza from earlier, but as long as you have a card in memory, this gets 4K power. And the following ability, when this card attacks, if the level of the character across from this is level 2, this gains 6K. So she becomes a 7, and even before Climax combo, if she's swinging at a level 2, well, with the Climax combo, she's at 8. Swinging at a level 2, that becomes a 14,000 level 2 Slayer. That is really strong. Okay. Kind of surprising. You typically don't hit typically the magic number is somewhere in the effect of like 12-5 or so. Like 12-12-5. When this attacks, if you have the bar and all of your characters are magic, get up to 4. Add a magic character or event amongst those. Just typical. Okay. It's not bad. In terms of the Climax combos, I've not seen a bad one just yet. At least in my mind, bad. I haven't seen on reverse combos, which the first set is going to be littered with, right? So already so far, we're off to a good start. I don't like how it's so weak defensively. It's just going to die. Like straight up, it's dead next turn. If it's not, color me surprised. Lisana. It's funny because this exact effect is on Fubuki in Hololive, and then I see the fox ears and everything, and it just makes me think Fubuki anyway. Because she had like the animal transformation. So on death, pitch a card, look it up to 4, add a level 1 or higher card amongst them to hand. Alright, moving on. Mary Jane. Oh, we have a rest counter at level 1. When you use this card's backup, you may pay cost, which is 4 stock and discarding a Climax, which is honestly not a horrible thing. If you do choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it, to be able to do this as early as level 1 is kind of fucking insane. If you saw this, if this profile was on other particular cards in other particular sets, this would be busted. So I'm not saying it's the most broken thing in the world. You do have to discard a Climax, so you got to think of the deck. So if it's in a pants trigger deck or a gold bar heavy deck, you constantly have that. Like, that's no issue. So, kind of crazy. Otherwise, it's just a 1K backup. You can only run 4 copies of this card or the Aquarius Water Bearer. Hold on, what is this? When this is placed on stage from hand or deck, Deal 1 damage to all players? I don't think I've ever seen that effect on anything, at least in English. Huh. Also, the Aquarius Water Bearer is 37, so it's coming up a little bit here. I'm suppressing yawns right now, because this, like, there's some shit in here that's just boring me, but no, I'm just, for some reason, just all of a sudden have to fucking yawn. So, 3-2 Lucy... For each of the particular event in memory, so that event probably goes to memory, part of its effect. This gets 15. So, if we have all 4, it's sitting at plus 6k, which is 14,000 total. Place on stage from hand if you have 2 or more other magic characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. This gets -2 soul across on the character across from it. On attack, if you have the bar, your opponent mills X. X is equal to the number of the event in your memory times 7. Okay. You make them mill anywhere from 7 to 28 cards. Just so, I mean, basically with this, you're trying to just go, cool, I'm going to refresh you, or refresh you, or refresh you, like over and over and over. That's kind of insane. That's not the most broken effect in the world, but I like to see unique stuff like that. Someone's like, it's not unique, it's on this other card. Okay, whatever. Mira Jane, early play, 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, very easy. Ooh, on play, if you have 2 or more of the magics, discard a card, choose a card in your clock and add it to hand. So, very good. Early play healer. Early play heal from clock to hand, very nice. And on attack, you can give it a buff. Actually, it gets big. Hold on, 2 or more magic characters gives 4k, so it's like a 13, okay. I see you, Mira Jane. Typical on-play, pitch a card, top check, as salvage back equals to the level of the revealed card. Level assist. Clock kick removal you can give to a character. Kyria. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play backups from hands. They can still play events, but not backups. On attack, if you have the bar, pay 1, pitch 1... deal 3 damage to your opponent, then heal 1. Okay, that's actually pretty damn good. Pay 1, pitch 1 if you have the bar. 2 or more other magic characters. I mean, you just have to have 3 characters on field. So you could just push shit up if you absolutely needed to, but on an uncommon, a pay 1, pitch 1, burn 3, then heal 1. The heal is on you, right? I'm not reading this weirdly, like, make your opponent heal 1 or something, right? No, I'm assuming this is you. Obviously, I don't... It just... This is weird. To have this on a thing of your opponent cannot play backups. Typically in Weiss, the cost of discarding matches what your... Like, what the effect is. In some shape, form, or fashion. I've seen lots of effects back in the day that were like, you know, pay 1, pitch 1, burn 1. Pay 1, pitch 1, burn 2. For this to burn 3 and make it so you also heal 1 for what I consider to be a very low cost. I guess the trade-off is the fact of it's only a 9.5. With the gold bar, it's a 10.5. But I mean, you can buff it. So that doesn't, like... I don't consider that big of a trade-off. That's, on an uncommon, that's actually kind of crazy. Like, I know I've said that a couple times in this video already, but that's actually kind of nuts. Okay. I'm more hyped for an uncommon than I am for, like, anything else in this set. Is that, like, what does that say about me? I'm weird. The Lucy gets back the events. On attack, you can just add a card back from your clock, and then you had to put a card from hand into clock. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Okay. Scullion. See, whereas this one's kind of weird. 002K. For each magic character in your level zone, this gets 25. So this does grow. So at level 1, he is a 45. At level 2, he is a 7. And at level 3, he's a 9.5. Am I doing that math right? 75? Yeah, 9.5. And he combos with a gold bar. So this dude can get all the way up to like 10.5 throughout the entire game, which is kind of silly. On attack, if you have 3 or more other magic characters, draw up to 1, then choose a card in your hand and send it to stock. I thought that was going to be a discard. It's bad because it's just draw 1, but then you get extra clean stock, probably. I mean, your opponent doesn't know what it is, so you could just be tossing extra climaxes in there. I don't fucking know. Anyway, Mad Mole. Is it the same? Oh, it's a different, Oh, no. This is a Brainstorm. It's a Brainstorm Climax combo because you have to use the particular either Kiria's Climax or Scullion's Climax. So you're wanting to use this and her. Where this is kind of ass, but you get to build up the stock and everything to be able to play stuff. This is actually really, really fucking good. So we can have a dragon-themed deck. And if you have both of those, it'll be 8 bar, which is whatever. Mill 5, if it's one of the particular climaxes, search your deck for a magic character. Like, this is still a very good brainstormer. I just wish this was better. Like, this is shit. But it is interesting in how you can use it throughout the entirety of the game. You just want to get him back as much as humanly possible. Okay, interesting. George. What the fuck, George? Okay, he can summon more stuff. More Kiria. Oh, okay, so it can do an effect to attack the back row instead of attacking the front row. That's actually, sometimes that matters. Interesting. Weirdo. Nibaru. So your opponent's level 1 higher characters. Okay, it can D-level something. Very nice. Wraith. Hold up, it's a 2/1/1K, but if this has a marker underneath it, it gains 95 and a soul. So it becomes a 10/5 2 soul at level 2? Oh, and he specifically grabs the Makarov? Okay. Well, this is placed here. This is kind of interesting too. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your opponent's face-up card in memory. You may flip it face down. If you do at the end of your turn, flip it face up. Sometimes that can turn off particular effects. It's going to be kind of a deck-by-deck basis, or like set-by-set, I should say, basis, but that can happen. More Scullion. Okay, doesn't matter. Can early play. This is dumb. I know it's because he's huge. At the start of your encore step, send this to waiting room. I don't care. I don't care. I know he's like a cool early play. I don't give a shit. The moment it's like I sacrifice myself. I'm sorry. 1/1 event. Choose a magic character in waiting room. Add it to hand. Send this to memory. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 2 or higher, send it to stock. That's actually pretty cool. So that's actually really strong. And I was right. It does send itself to memory. Okay, this is kind of funny too. It's a 2/1 event. Perform the following effect 3 times. Look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. So it's just like, I basically get to look at the top 3 and basically keep getting rid of stuff until I get closer to a climax, possibly. And then send this to the bottom of your deck. Trees, any 7 Deadly Sins players. Lots of gold bar, really cool art. Really sinister looking one right there. It's just the grins. All right, Natsu. And we have more than 2... we have more than 2 double rares. All right, 00500 Natsu. When this attacks, if all of your characters are magic, choose a character, gets 2k. When this is reversed, you can pay 1, pitch 1, send this to memory. So we have memory across all 3 colors. Search your deck for up to 1 magic character. Show it your opponent, add it to your hand. Very, very good. Very interesting. Toka, once again, what is Data Live doing here? 3/2/7K. If you have 4 or more magic characters, this is minus a level in hand. On play, pick one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Either dig on the top of your deck equals to the number of characters you have, or heal 1, so utility or healing, whichever you need. On attack, choose one of your magic characters. It gets 3k till end of turn. So you can give it to itself so it becomes a 10k, but you may be giving it something else. Once again, we have not seen any reversed stuff, but I see a lot of text right here on this Natsu. And the art for that is gorgeous. I can see it behind my head. 3295. Place on stage from hand, heal up to 1. This turn, this gets 1500 power. Very nice. When this attacks, if you have the door, and you have 2 or more other magic characters, 3 or more cards with different card names in your memory. That matters. Just discard a magic character. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Choose up to 1 card in your opponent's waiting room, place it on top of their deck, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, during this card's battle, you do not take damage from the auto effect of your opponent's characters. It's a very interesting offense and defense in the same card. Like, you've obviously gone through and tried to get a bunch of different cards into your memory. Which is, I mean, there's an Urza that goes, there's a Natsu that goes, there's the events, there's a Lucy. There's a lot of cards that can go to memory, and I'm assuming when we get to blue, there's probably something else that can do so as well. So you burn 2, choose a card in your opponent's waiting room, place it on top of their deck. So the next attack is probably going to be, like, you know, has that much better chances of damage sticking, which is good. And then making it so you do not take damage from the auto effects of your opponent's characters. If you do this across 3 Natsus, you were just like your opponent just is not burning you for shit, which is kind of insane. Okay, so that's all the double rares. That's wild. Okay. This is wild. All of your other Gajiel gain... a particular Gajiel and a particular Lily gain hexproof. Brainstorm, pay 1 rest this, mill 4 for each climax. Draw 2, pitch 1. Very nice. Is it that Gajiel? 59 and 64, so it's not this one. Twin Drive. Add stuff and discard. More Twin Drive. Okay. I was literally about to ask, are we going to see Standby? Because this is on a door. And then I immediately see the Standby right here. So, Fairy Tale with Standby stuff. Okay. I will say, there might be some really high power characters from the first set that you could stand by in and get away with some fucking shenanigans. I would love to see that. I'm going to be real. Alright. Level 1. On attack, if you have another magic character, this gains 15. So he'll be a 6k, and standby doesn't give any buffs. When this standby is placed in your climax area, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Look it up to 1 card from the top of your deck, add a magic or event character amongst them to hand. Or D-level? Choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters. Yeah, that's interesting to have that. It's either I get to try to get some cards back, or, oh, look, I have a full hand already. Let me D-level one of my opponent's characters. On a level 1 combo, with typically, like, level 1 standby combos are like, oh, stand the character, or, you know, some other, like, it's typically not that. Interesting. Okay. Okay, Natsu, you've impressed me so far. Funny removal shenanigans on attack. You can get some clean stock on attack. Not horrible. Okay. Ignia. Place on stage from hand. Pay 2. Search your deck for a climax has the same name as a climax in your waiting room. Okay. Happy. Are you happy? Are you joy? It runs another climax swapper. Really good. Really good. Also, the face right there is just, I'm gonna fuck you up. I love that. And he's a runner. Okay, cool. More happy. The level 1 Natsu. Ooh, during your turn, that particular level 1 Natsu gets an additional 2k, so it becomes like an 8. And then he can do the effect, the act effect the next turn to just grab back that Natsu and be able to do it again, which is kind of crazy. 2k assist to level 3 or higher characters, particular Gajiel. Oh, true. I forgot. So that was the other Gajiel, number 59. So that can get hexproof from the other one, or from the other card. Okay. The particular Lily also summons out that Gajiel. Okay. Oh, wait. So it summons it out. So you try to get the Gajiel out as much as possible to try to get rid of your opponent's character. Whether you hard cast it or early play, you can get a lot of removal. Interesting. Okay, I like the synergy there with the Gagio. Okay. Gives buff change into the particular white wizard from, like, the first color. Level 2 Slayer gets big. If you have a happy in memory, you may send it to stock. On attack, if you have the particular happy in your waiting room, this gets buff. Also, just the little pouty face, really cute. Gajil. This is like the fucking Kenpachi face. Like, you fucked up. Anyway. More twin drive. A lot of twin drives, so we're probably going to see some funny standby shenanigans. That's for damn sure. Gets big. Character on card. Oh, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is your typical, like kind of your typical, like, level, your 1/1 standby target anyway, so it makes more sense. Memory kick backup, I should say. For each of your other magic characters. Oh, your typical 2/2 target for standby. Okay, so this does matter. A 2/0 red event, but it can be played without meeting color requirements. We're seeing a lot of that in this set already. Choose a magic character waiting room, add it to hand. Just basically a kind of a 1-for-1 effect from hand. It just becomes a character, whatever you need, in any deck. So, honestly, not horrible. Now, this is the one thing I just realized. There's only the one standby? So you only have the one Natsu doing standby, and then you have the other Natsu level 3 combo you're trying to do, I'm assuming? Or you're running like a pants combo coming up, and you're just trying to get back to standby as much as possible? I don't know. So we'll see. Wendy, one of the cutest in the entire show. Very adorable. Brainstorm. Sorry, these are the double rares. I need to read each of these. We have 3 double rares. So, 002K. During your opponent's turn, all of your other magic characters get 500 power. And pay 1 rest this mill for each climax. You get to salvage back a character. Very nice. 104K. Wendy. When this attacks you with 2 or more other magic characters, this gets 2K till end of turn. It climax combos with the pants, so that's a 7K total. On attack, if you have the pants, if you have another magic character, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Either grab back a character from hand or from waiting room to hand, or return one of your opponent's characters to hand. Which can matter, it makes sense because of her, having wind power and whatnot. So it's cool. It's blue, but I'm gonna be yellow and spin you back to the opponent's hand. That's actually kind of funny. So could come in handy. I don't know if you something your opponent has you want them to have to pay stock for. I mean, depends on the card. Depends on the card greatly. All right, Gray, 3295. He's wearing more clothes than he usually does. If you have 4 or more magic characters, this gets minus a level in hand. Place on stage from hand, draw 2, pitch 2, put up to 1 card from the top of your deck to stock. Not horrible, but you don't pay stock out, so you're just basically using that to try to like summon another copy of itself or something. I don't know. On attack, if you have the pants, look at the 2 cards on top of your opponent's deck. Choose 2 cards amongst them, put them on top of your opponent's deck in any order, send the rest to waiting room. So it's a mocha. Choose one of your opponent's characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. It gains the following ability that it cannot move to other slots. This fits because of the ice magic. He's freezing them in place. Okay. Very interesting, but he also has Devil Slayer magic. Spoilers. So I wonder how that's going to play in with some other cards. We have more adorable Wendy. And we are in the rares. So Blip's characters out. Place on stage from hand. Pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck. Okay, so drop searcher. Very nice. Gray. Place on stage from hand. He's all about these freezing effects. Once again, something that basically fucks over characters with a level higher than your opponent's level, so anything that gets standbyed in just gets fucked over by Gray, apparently. And I was correct. You do have a card that goes to memory in blue as well. So you have something from every single color, and all of them are zeros, I think? Minus, the event obviously is a 1/1, but it's whatever. Look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose it to 1 level and a higher card amongst them, add it to your hand. And you do have to send this standing card to memory, so it's not like you can rest them for a brainstorm effect. and then then send them off for that. You can't do that. See, here's where the Devil Slayer magic kicks in. So, on attack, you can pitch a card, look it up to 4, add a magic character amongst them to hand. Very nice. Gray, if all of your characters are magic, this gets 1,000. Very bog standard. On attack, if you have a climax, which is not horrible, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 1 or higher, send it to stock. So possibly free clean stock. Very nice. We have a 3/2 Wendy. On play, pitch a card, heal the top card of clock to stock. All right, so good. When the pants is placed, you have 2 or more of the characters. If you pay the cost, which is pay 1, pitch 1, all of your characters get the following ability till end of turn. When this attacks, your opponent mills 1. If that card is level 1 or higher, deal 5 damage to your opponent. Okay, that's really awkward conditions to also be like, cool, I'm gonna burn you for 5. Okay, it's just kind of wild. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if there was a way to ensure it, maybe, but you also have to make your opponent mill, so Oh, well, okay, the Wendy can also go to memory, kind of off this effect. Carla, on play, pitch a magic, draw a card, bonds with the particular 3/2 Wendy. Kana, your other magic characters gain 500. If you would play more marker shenanigans, don't care. When the pants is placed in your climax area, if you have another magic character, look at the top card of your deck, choose a magic character amongst them, add it to your hand. Pay 1, rest 1, or pay 1, pitch 1, rest this, search your deck for a magic character. Okay, this is not horrible, like a decent little back row. Climax combo. A 1/0 Juvia. I remember being told about this. At the start of your attack phase, if you had the pants in your climax area, this gets 55 and a soul. So it becomes brain, math, 8k. With the pants, 9k, 2 soul, costless. Which is kind of funny. Particular Wendy. On attack, pitch a pants trigger. Looking at the 6 cards from the top of your deck, choose a magic character amongst them to hand. That's a big dig right there. That's kind of crazy. I mean, you're pitching a climax for it, so that's understandable. Anti-change, backup. Okay. I guess that kind of fits. Well, okay. I guess this is kind of even more like standby hate, because there's a lot of early play hate, basically, with Gray, so this also very much fits that. So the Gray is like all the anti-change hate in the world. Cool. It can give a buff and it can salvage. Okay. Merc phobia. I'm not scared. I don't think I am. During the place of stage your hands, cards attack 4 or more other magic characters. Pay 2, pitch 1. Sack a character if you do stand this. Okay, restander. There we go. It's kind of whatever. On play, stage from hand from the following effect. Twice look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom of your deck. If you have no other characters in your back row, you may mill 1. Okay, cool. This is kind of funny. It's a 35. For each of your opponent's back row characters, this gets 2k power, so it can become a 1075, and your opponent has to move stuff up for it to become weaker. Just kind of weird, but it's whatever. Caramel. Like caramel? I don't remember. Pay a cost, search for stuff, and it's a buff to your... Oh! All of the 1/0 Merc phobias, this one, gain X power. X is equal to your level times 1,000. So let's do the math. I said before he would get 4k, so he'd be a 1075 if your opponent has 2 characters in the backstage. With 1 copy of her, he becomes a 10-5 at level 3, because he'll gain 3k. That's okay, not horrible. So he can still retain some size. It's kind of weird. This is kind of funny. Place on stage or hand, choose once again the whole freezing idea. Give a character it can't return to hand or be sent to memory, which is kind of interesting. And once again, more anti-change hate. It's a bottom deck reverser for anti-change. Cool. I no comment. I'm just reading stuff. It's aight. Marker shenanigans, don't care. And pants across the board. And we do have some promos. Weird little art over in the corner there. And I also think we're at the end in a moment here because we don't... So yeah, so this is the only promo. 2k assist to level 3 or higher characters, and I rest this to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put them back in any order. Alright. That is it for all the cards. There is no other cards, no other promos or anything. So we are going to look through all of the art. I just want to showcase this really quick because it is kind of sick. So let's go back up. All right, so first off, we have the SP of the Mercphobia. Really cool. We have Luvia, very adorable. Now, several of the cards had like actual like alternate arts. So this one's just kind of zoomed out. It's kind of whatever, but you did have. I mean, I guess was that mostly just the secret rares that had it. I mean, even this has like a different artwork for the back, but this still looks cool. Still looks neat. Now this, the SSP. I very much like this kind of style for a SSP. This is neat. I would love to see more of this, like in other sets. So I think this is actually really cool. And it also really fits with like the fairy tale art style. This can be done very easily. I think this is neat. Some people would be like, you forgot to fill in the color, Bushi, but I think it's still kind of cool. The Windy SSP. Okay, so this is another SSP as well. So I noticed this was an alternate art. I didn't know if it was an SP or not. So all the regular SPs are just going to be kind of zoomed out, like alternate backgrounds. Was that alternate background? Looks, okay. This looks badass. This looks really cool. This looks like something straight out of the manga. I'm sorry, but the clouds here look like you took it off of like a fucking Google search. This looks like you just superimposed generic cloud background. They're not animated. That looks like real clouds. Okay. Let it render in. At least from like right here. This doesn't look... If this is what the clouds looked like in the fucking anime, I don't remember this. I need to go back and finish watching 100 Years Quest, clearly. This looks like you Google searched clouds, like generic, like airplane shot of above the clouds. And put this on the back of the card for the SP. What? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm usually the one that's wrong. I'm gonna assume that I'm wrong here. But this doesn't look good. This looks like you just took real life clouds. I don't know. I really hope it looks better on the actual card IRL. So the SSP here looks really cute, really nice, very nice artwork. Oh wow. Okay, we actually have quite a bit of artwork here. Okay, so this is... Ooh! The climax is a secret rare plus? Okay. And it's like the frame by frame of the freaking like Dragon Fist punch thing. Like that looks sick. And then this is like, I don't even know if we're going to get this. AGR? Maybe we might get that. I don't know. That looks neat. Okay, cool. You know. Once again, clouds are weird. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking on that one. Okay, this doesn't look like, you know, Google Fire or anything. Like that actually looks like actual fire or something, like a drawn background. So really cool there for the Ignis. This looks really sick. I love kind of the graffiti artwork. That's really cool. SSP. Once again, this works. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's Hiramashima's like artwork. This works so well for like an SSP. I think that looks really cool. Now that I saw the weird clouds, I have to question all the backgrounds. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking on that one. The Gagio looks cool though. It looks cool. Looks really neat. This looks kind of sick for the Secret Rare Plus. And the Hiromashima signature. Oh, and as well as like the actual... So it's like, you get 2 signatures for the price of 1? Okay. You know what? 2 claps. Once again, you get several claps in this video. SP of her. Oh, this looks... SRP. Hold on. Okay. I'm assuming that's a typo, because right here it just says SP. I'm like, SRP? What the fuck? But see, this looks really cool. This background looks like it's drawn. So I'm just saying. SSP of the Lucy looks really cool. Another SSP Lucy. This is very, very lovely artwork. Very nice. Mira Jane. Very cool. SP of the level 1 Lucy. Secret Rare Plus. Once again, the hero. Oh, so is it... Oh, that looks like the exact same. Okay, so it must be 2... It must just be Hiromashima signatures, because that it has the same little face there. Right here. It looks the exact same. So it's... I thought that was like a Natsu signature for a half second there, but it is not Sue. Ha! Anyway. Okay, but so that's just another thing for Hiromashima. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's really cool for the Triple Rare Plus for Urza's Climax. That is really neat. Yeah. Okay, no. The Jalal looks really cool. This is really nice. I really do like this artwork of Urza for the SSP. That is really cute. Very, very nice there. Urza's always looked very fabulous. Very much reminds me, obviously, of Mitsuru. The SSP for that also looks really cool. Oh, the Laxus SP looks really neat. So. The Heaven's Wheel. I think it's called Heaven's Wheel, right? I forget what the actual name is. That looks sick. And then obviously the Urza Secret Rare Plus. Holy crap. I was very tempted to just have it end on the Cloud one again. But we will end it on Urza instead because she looks much more badass. Okay. Overall impressions. Like I said, I'm judging this I'm only able to judge this solely based off this particular set. I have no knowledge. I do not remember jack shit from the first set. The fact that I remembered Urza had some level 1 change effects surprises me. I'm surprised that I even remember that. There was like 3 people that ran fucking different Fairy Tail builds at our locals way back in the day. That's all I remember. I don't remember shit else. Anyway. Because of that, I can only judge this based off of this set alone. It looks like there's a couple different builds you can do. It looks like there's several different decks that can be built from it. And I do like it for that aspect. That is really cool, and I'm very, very happy for that. Honestly, there's a lot of really awesome artwork. I do not think it's going to be the most busted set in the world, but I think there's going to be a lot of fun things that you can do with it. And in Weiss, meta be damned. In Weiss, I prefer seeing fun type decks for this. So if anybody wants to share their fun builds for Fairy Tail, by all means, feel free to toss them in the Base Damage Discord. I will happily take a look at them. 100%. And I'm very interested in seeing what fun builds can be made. But I'm certain there's going to be a lot of people just trying to get the SPs and the SSPs and the secret rares, and that's totally fair. I'm not going to fault you for that. So, in terms of power, I like that it has a lot of modern things. I say modern compared to, a fucking 12-year-old set. Version E 12-year-old set. I think it's even older in the JP. It could be wrong. It seems to be a alright set. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. I don't hate it. There's some stuff in here that made me go yawn because of like the marker shenanigans. I don't care for marker shenanigans anymore. I just don't. It's whatever. Can we move on to something else that doesn't have like marker BS? I don't know. I'd just rather not see it anymore. I just don't care. The memory stuff, memory, sending cards to memory is a form of compression, obviously. So very, very nice to see that, to see what I consider to be more modern effects, but it just makes it, in my mind, a solid set. Maybe there's something super busted from the first set. I noticed they didn't give it 8 standby, they only gave it the 1. They only gave it you can only run 4 standby. It's not like you can do 8 standby shenanigans and then pull weird ass pull stuff from like the first set or whatever. There every now and then you find like a random, like say an SAO card, like, oh, this thing has like fucking 3 stock that you can, it's like a 3 stock requirement to summon this thing, but you could just like cheese it in with standby, that kind of stuff, right? I think those are funny. I really do think those are funny ha-has. I'm curious as to what can be done with this set, so I would like to mess with it when I get the opportunity on like the sim or something. So overall, it gets a thumbs up for me personally. I don't think it's going to be the most busted set in the world, but I'd rather see something fun. So that is my verdict. It has been Kate approved. So thank you very much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. If you've stuck around this long, feel free to do all the cringy YouTuber shenanigans, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. If not, hey, thanks for stopping by to check out the video. I do appreciate it. We'll see y'all later on. Stay safe and remember to stay based.